So we didn't necessarily grow up with Winnie the Pooh.
No, not until our last sibling
That was the
born,
point
man.
where and we kind of got into the whole.
We were aware of Winnie the Pooh.
Rewatched, and then like wore the tape out on pretty much every Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah.
That was made.
Cartoon, man, not just the movies. Yeah.
And it was cartoon, not so much, but the animated movies part, like we knew them by heart. We probably, like, if you pop them in right now, we can still probably know them all. So there was, when somebody said that they're gonna make a movie based on the grown-up version of Christopher Robin and like Pooh and the gang coming in to help him rediscover his childhood, the first thought I had was like, that's strangely similar to Hook.
Oh, you see, I haven't thought about that until I started watching the movie, man.
Because it's the same principle.
Yeah, yeah.
A grown-up version of Peter Pan has to go to Neverland to rediscover his...
Rescue his kids and rediscover himself, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and it's...
Find it in the child, yeah.
Yeah, find the inner child in himself and rescue his kids, which made the movie Hook so like beautiful.
Dude, listen,
like even
man,
now you can rewatch that movie.
Definitely, man.
So
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I remember when I watched it the first time, Hook, I was like, dude, it was like a scary, scary movie. But then the more I watched it over the years, the more I grew to love it.
Especially when you grew up and when you kind of understood the principles behind it.
But back to Winnie the Pooh.
So when I heard that was my first thought, and I was like, well, I hope this turns out good. And then it was like, Evan McGregor is gonna be Christopher Robin. I'm thinking, okay, I love Evan McGregor.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
There's like Haley Atwell's gonna be in.
Yeah.
Like, all right, everybody loves Haley Atwell. And he was like, what they're gonna do with it exactly? And then you have the whole when they take it. So at the start of the movie, we're probably gonna spoil a few parts. Stuff that you can kind of figure out as you.
The movie came out here like a month ago, and
came out in US, but like
a long time ago. So it's already on DVDs. Streaming,
so the thing was like they showed you Christopher Robin as a kid. They took you to the 100 Acre Wood, and for everybody who read the books, who saw the illustrations, or who watched any of the animated movies, like you were
I was there.
The scenery,
man.
It was there.
Yeah,
and you recognized every part of the. And it was like being a kid again.
Dude, I'm already a big kid, so it's like
we both are,
a kid again. But it was definitely,
and you had that like glint in your eye, and it was like,
yeah, man.
This is so
I'm watching it on big screen, man. Come on.
And then you kind of know what's gonna happen. Like he's gonna grow up, he's gonna drift away. And it's like, how did they? And and he goes to war.
Yeah, there was because I've seen Goodbye Christopher Robin prior to this,
Well, I saw
and
it
they based character of Christopher Robin on A.A. Milne's kid. So I was glad that they pulled that parallel where Christopher Robin actually went to war and he went, to boarding school and, all that stuff, because that was actually taken from the dude's life. And they just transferred into this, fictional movie about these fictional characters, that were set in the real world.
And then you see, like, there's a whole sequence of events that happens when you see Christopher Robin grow up. Where he
Forget about that,
only grows up, but he plays a vital part in why Winnie the Pooh shows up in the first place. Like you see him grow up, and then you see him lose that inner child in himself.
Yeah,
and it's like,
about him.
well, not just him, but it's like generally he stops being like, you see the way he acts with his wife and his daughter.
Yeah,
you see that he loses that part of himself, the inner child. And you're like, okay, now Winnie the Pooh is gonna come in, and then it's gonna be fun. So basically, when Winnie the Pooh does show up, Christopher Robin's like he's gonna help him, but
it was kind of the Chronicles of Narnia moment, man.
Yeah, like he walks out of a tree in the park, and it's funny. It's so Winnie the Pooh.
Dude, listen.
The way he shows up, because he's basically lost his friends, so now he goes to to search for Christopher Robin, because Christopher Robin is the only one who can
help them.
And he doesn't even, he barely remembers Winnie the Pooh, much less like, so he's like, I'm gonna help him just to get rid of him because I got a job to get back to. There's this whole presentation I have to make, and why are people shouldn't get fired. And it's like, I don't have time for childish stuff. And it's like...
And you can't get more childish than Winnie the Pooh. Do you remember when we started watching, like literally I think Winnie the Pooh is my spirit animal or something, because every word that comes out of that character's mouth is literally something that I said or thought at any one point during my life.
Well, it's probably something that what makes him so relatable is the fact that you're not the only person who feels that way. There's like people all over the world who feel that way when they watch Winnie the Pooh. Because he's gonna say stuff that you're gonna think.
Like stuff that he says, like you can't make something. You can make, you can't make something out of nothing. Yes, you can, and it's something I would say. You can, doing nothing is very tiring. You get exhausted when you do nothing. People think you're talking nonsense, but actually makes sense when you think about it. So it's the stuff that I've been, stuff that I've been talking all throughout my life. And so when you see that on the big screen in live action, in CGI that is out of this world. The way those plush toys were made, it was literally everything I ever dreamed it would be. When you
I was wondering how they're gonna make him, because you can't make him you can draw him, obviously.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, but
it could have been, another Roger Rabbit situation. I would have been fine with that.
Yeah, I would. But this made it so much more realistic,
definitely,
and relatable.
Oh. So much more.
There's the whole process of him going back, hiding from the world, going back, trying to help Fu find his friends, finding him in.
Come on, man! And once the 100 Acre Wood Gang comes out into the real world, and they start getting into trouble and making, start making chaos.
So
it's fun.
Nostalgic. Well, it's
nostalgic as well, but
it takes
so
you right back.
Yeah, it's so childish,
it takes you right back to those movies that you watch. If they were in the real world, this is exactly what would happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's no sugarcoating. It's this is exactly what would happen if you take Winnie the Pooh and put him in the real world.
Exactly.
And all these shenanigans happens. It's definitely
that's the right word, man. That's the right word.
Whoever drew this, whoever CGI this, he did a fantastic job. Whoever wrote this,
whoever directed it, I have no idea who
everything was on point.
I mean, I know Disney made it, but it was their, probably the England studio who did the movie.
But the thing was, but it was, I think, because Winnie the Pooh exploded.
Just because we're on topic, listen, getting Ewan McGregor to do this and getting all the original voice actors for the Winnie the Pooh and the gang, dude, come on, man. That's, while they're still alive, because those fellas, they're old, man. Some of them aren't even alive, but it was just one guy who had at least 3 of those voices, or 4. Dude, getting him to do all the voices, that was just, whipped cream on top of the cake, man. So,
Thank you. I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what Winnie the Pooh does to you, man. He'll come in, and all of a sudden you'll be in one moment, and Winnie the Pooh comes in and asks you for, small smackerel of honey.
Small smackerel of something?
Something sweet and gooey.
But the thing, I have no idea where I was going with it. Thank you. No, I really have no idea what I was going to say. I was going to say something very thoughtful, though. So, thoughtful.
Yeah,
I actually have nothing.
And dude, seeing Eeyore, man, come on, man.
Listen, everything is gloomy and as fun as it is.
Yeah, and when Tigger starts to bounce, oh man.
What do you mean that was going to happen?
But what do you mean Tigger can't bounce?
But the whole thing is, they made it. The thing was, I think, what even makes it so relatable, I think this was what I was going to say before you so now rudely interrupted me, was the fact that when you have Winnie the Pooh, something that has been so widespread for over a century, to the point where everybody knows these characters, or most of the people actually, either they know them, of them, or they heard of them, or they read a book, or they watched the movie, but these movies are nostalgic in every essence of the word.
Yeah, because they take a lot of the stuff from the cartoons and movies they put in the movie.
From the North, and the stuff they don't do with Christopher Robin's child, they do with flashbacks to when Christopher Robin was young.
Yeah. Or when Christopher Robin is stuck and Winnie the Pooh comes in, Christopher Robin, are you stuck? Because Winnie the Pooh was
And you go I remember with that. And it's everything is so familiar.
Yeah.
And it's just
everything I ever wanted to see and hear,
he takes you there. It's you are literally in the 100 Acre Wood. You are in London as this Cuddle Bob.
Because Goodbye Christopher Robin was great. I mean,
But
it's
it's
biography. It's centered,
But it
on
dealt
A.A.
with
Milne
different-
and
yeah.
Christopher A.A. Milne's kid and their life and how Winnie the Pooh impacted their lives.
And lives of everybody, you know.
But that's not the movie I really wanted to see. This is
this
the
is
movie,
the movie
I
we
wanted to see, and I'm glad they got both of them
Yes.
because they just.
Even though I watched Goodbye Christopher Robin after Christopher
Oh, really?
Robin. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it earlier. And they do tie nicely into each other.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Christopher Robin, like you said, Goodbye Christopher Robin was more
you can literally-
autobiographical.
because you
This
can
one's a lot more.
pull parallels from that movie to this one as
This
well.
one
so-
was a lot more. I don't want to say meaningful because I don't want to take anything from the other one. But this is the movie that you actually wanted to see. You wanted to see, like,
Yeah.
okay, like you have this whole
Like I wanted to
Christopher
see
Robin as
both
kid,
movies, but I want to see this one much more.
but you want to see like what happens when Christopher Robin grows up and then he forgets about Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, and dude, watching the movie
And how
and
does
as you
he
said,
come
pulling
back?
parallels with Hook throughout the whole movie as well, I was like, man, that's a great, double feature, box
Because
set
I
or whatever.
pull. Because I
they're
pulled
both Disney
references,
movies, I think.
but I pull references now all the time because I identify the same. Like the principle of the story was
Yeah.
like, pretty much the same. When you have like the whole scene where Christopher Robin is like, you're not Christopher Robin, you're Woozle, because he's not that kid anymore that he was when he was a kid. And then when he's fighting a Heffalump, and there's the whole scene where like Eeyore is the only one who actually see him. And there's this scene where his eyes kind of pop open,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, Christopher Robin, there you are." And it's like, if you know anything about Winnie the Pooh, and if you did not watch this movie, do yourself a favor and watch this movie because you can't really talk in enough superlatives about this movie.
agreed.
There isn't a part of this movie that you're not gonna like, be it acting, be it scenography, being anything, visual effects. He has everything,
Dude, yeah.
and the throat punch of nostalgia to take you there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a beautiful movie. You can watch it with kids, you can watch it with grandparents, you can watch it with delusional people.
Oh,
like you
definitely.
can watch it with anybody because like everybody has their like inner child in itself, and
They can relate to this
They
one.
can relate to this
because
one.
it is chaotic, man. I mean, in a way. So
it is in a beautiful kind of way.
beautiful kind of way.
Beautiful
The
kind of
most
way.
beautiful kind of
I don't
way,
even
yes.
want to rate it. Like I'd probably give it a 30 just because everything.
I was gonna, that was good. I was
I would
on the
give it a
fence
30.
with 26 or to 28
I'd
because
give
it
it
just,
because this is a perfect movie. For me, in my
it just,
or almost a 30.
you
It's
know
like
what?
at least
It's,
27.
Definitely 28.
Especially
definitely,
when
man.
you throw nostalgia in there.
Definitely.
Especially when you can identify with everything. Especially we can see everything for how it was back then and how it is now. And
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Go watch.
Yeah. It's definitely Bash Brothers approved movie. Like we don't usually, usually we rate movies high, but this one has our approval on it. Like that's, that's
Yes.
a Chuck Norris fact. Like
We don't have a stamp, but we have a Chuck Norris book, but I'm not standing up. That's it from us. Until next time, Bash Brothers are.